If you are interested in my videos, please subscribe. Now it's time to review the first season of the Lion Guard show. Obviously I am going to spoil the show, so watch the season for yourself if you don't want to be spoiled. And also watching the Return of the Roar movie or my review of it is required for watching this video. So let's start. Episode 1. Never judge a hyena by its spots. While chasing off Janja, Cheesy and Changu, Kayan falls into the river and ends up in the Outlands. He tells his friends to wait at a certain place while he finds his way back. This story has a Kayan side and an other side. On the other side, Kayan's friends are trying to reach that place, but they don't know where it is. So one by one they try to lead the group. First, it's Bunga's turn, and even though he has no idea where they should go, he pretends to know what he is doing. They get lost in the jungle, so Ono takes the lead and takes them out of the jungle, but he doesn't know where to go next, so Beshte takes the lead. Nothing against the guy, he is one of the kindest characters ever and I love him for that, but he is also dumb, so Fuli takes the lead. But she is too fast and the rest can't keep up with her. This side shows why Kayan is the leader. Without him, the rest can't work properly. But overall, I say Fuli was the best replacement for Kayan, with Ono being the runner-up. Ono is smart, but Fuli is seemingly a better leader material. And she did become the leader when in season 3 Kayan couldn't think straight, right? Or do I remember it wrong? Whatever, I will rewatch the third season in a few days to find it out. But the point is that Kayan is the best choice for leading the guard. Also, we see that sometimes Beshte refers to Bunga as Little B and Bunga sometimes calls Beshte Big B. That's cute. And also in this episode, we see the main comic relief character of this series, Thurston the Zebra. This side is fine, but Kayan's side is what makes this first episode one of the best episodes of the series already. You guys probably know one of the Lion King's controversies was how it did hyenas dirty. Some people weren't happy that hyenas were a bunch of dumb lackeys that just destroy everything they touch. And the first episode of this series actually finally tried to fix that problem. Kayan meets a female hyena named Jasiri, who alongside Fuli is another fan favorite of the series. Kayan is at first kinda racist toward her. She tells him that he is going the wrong way, but he doesn't listen to her. So he falls down and gets trapped in a bush. At first it seems Jasiri is gonna take advantage of the situation and hurt Kayan, but she actually sets him free. Kayan is limping because of the damage, so Jasiri goes with him. Then Kayan tries to teach the circle of life to Jasiri, but she already knows that. Then she sings a song, and at the end Kayan gets convinced that not all hyenas are bad, and that they are similar to the lions, and that the hyenas are also part of the circle of life. When Kayan is reaching the Pride Lands, Janja's gang attack Jasiri, so Kayan goes back to help her. Jasiri is smart and she has more than a few techniques to deal with multiple hyenas at once. But there are too many of them, so Kayan relies on his roar to deal with them. Then Kayan's friends show up. They want to attack Jasiri, but Kayan tells them their story. Kayan and Jasiri tell each other that they are friends now, and then they say their goodbyes and leave. We already have a perfect episode at the beginning. The only problem with it is that I want more of it. At the third season, we see that Simba is also cool with Jasiri, and it is good to see that Simba is actually on a good term with the hyenas, considering what happened in his childhood. But I wasn't that much satisfied with it because it was kinda unearned. Another case of wasted potential for a good drama. You could say it's too dramatic or cliche, but I would love to see Simba being against Kayan for befriending a hyena at first. Simba is too nice in this show, and I would like to see more flaws in him so that he could have a bigger arc. For Kayan, it's easier to befriend the hyena, But for Simba, considering his childhood traumas, it could be much more difficult. It would be interesting if Simba realized that the hyenas are also responsible for the death of his father, and that would make him paranoid around hyenas. I can't come up with a good way to slowly make Simba accept Jesse as an ally in a good way, but I'm sure a smart writer could find a way for it. Also, I like to think when Scar and Shenzi were kids, their dynamic were similar to Kayan and Jess series. I would love to see a Lion Guard season 0 or something. I would love to see a story about the events before the Lion Guard and the Lion King. We could see that Scar as a cub was a kind and brave lion just like Kayan, and as he grows up he slowly becomes the heartless monster he is, and slowly he would think of his friends as nothing but tools to help him reach the throne. And yeah, I am as much excited for Mufasa the Lion King as much as I am worried about it. I don't know why some people are against prequel movies. Don't you like to see your favorite movies become deeper? It will probably twist the original movie in a way that will either ruin it or it could make it even more tragic. Seriously, which one is more interesting? Scar hating Mufasa since day one, or having Scar as such a good brother that he would die for Mufasa and then he slowly becomes the monster we know? I don't dislike good versus evil stories, but I prefer deeper stuff over it. Of course, I am not saying that Mufasa the Lion King will definitely be a good movie, because I know it could be bad. I am just saying that I don't understand the hate for prequels. Okay, so let's wrap this episode. It's a good episode, one of the best. Definitely watch it, even if you dislike the Lion Guard show. Before I go to the next episode, I don't know if I said it in my 6 New Adventures retrospective or not, but that book series has a spin-off in which Koppa befriends a hyena named Asante, and the overall structure of the story of that spin-off is similar to this episode. So if we accept the idea that Kayan is just a reimagination of Koppa, this episode could be an adaptation of that story. But you know, it could be all a coincidence because that story is very obscure. But if it really is an adaptation of that, that's really cool. That's like a reference to one of the most obscure things ever. Wait, I'm still on episode 1? Episode 2, The Rise of Makuu. The Lion Guard saves a small animal from a bush. Then a snake named Ushari tries to eat it, but Bunga stops him. Ushari is basically a Squidward from SpongeBob. He is just born to suffer. This scene shows one of the biggest flaws of this show. Remember in Return of the Roar, the Lion Guard only attacked the hyenas when they hunted too much. That was one of the few times that they were reasonable. Because from now on, the Lion Guard will mostly take the prey side, no matter what. They don't consider that the predators need to eat as well, and will just prevent them from hunting the prey in the name of Circle of Life. Not knowing that they are actually against the Circle of Life by doing it. In a way, you could say Kayan and Fuli are hypocrites in this show, because they are allowed to eat, but other predators are not. By the way, this episode also has two sides. The unimportant side is Ono trying to make Bunga smell good. On the important side, there is an old crocodile named Pua, who is the leader of the crocodiles, and he respects the Circle of Life. But there is a strong young crocodile named Makuu who doesn't respect the Circle of Life. So he challenges Pua to a machine dano. What is a machine dano? It's a crocodile tradition in which a crocodile can challenge the leader to a fight, and if he wins, he will become the new leader and the old leader gets banished, and if he fails, he himself gets banished. This is why I like the Lion Guard series. It expands upon the Lion King lore. The movies are always about lions, but in this show we see the traditions of other animals as well. It's called the Lion King, but after more than 20 years, just now they finally decided to actually show how the kingdom works. But better late than never. By the way, Makuu defeats Pua in the Machindano, so Makuu becomes the new leader and Pua gets banished. This leads to disaster because Makuu with his selfishness brings chaos to the Pride Lands. Simba and Nala are busy hunting, so it's up to the Lion Guard to fix the problems. Kayan doesn't want to fix the problem with violence, so he asks for Mufasa's guidance. And yeah, this is another big problem with the show. Mufasa can talk to Kayan whenever Kayan wants. This makes that spatial scene in the Lion King 1 less spatial. And also it kinda makes death meaningless. So yeah, I am not a fan of having Mufasa in every other episode. Also in this episode, they had to dumb down the characters to hit the 20 minutes mark. That's why Kayan had to be told by Mufasa to, just turn around and roar to scare off Makuu. It really needed a genius to come up with that plan. Episode 3, Bunga The Wise. This one is more like a Timon and Pumbaa episode than a Lion Guard episode. There is a flood because of a storm, and Bunga suggests the guard to block it with giant rocks. Then because of that, alongside a misunderstanding, the animals think Bunga is the wisest. So you can already guess what happens next. Overall a generic episode, but the ending was a little bit interesting. The dam the Lion Guard built breaks down, so Kayan uses the roar to change the direction of the flood. This roar is OP. Also it's the introduction of this little guy. His name is Metoto, and in the later episodes he will become Beshte's #1 fan. He is this very young elephant who admires the Lion Guard and wants to be like them when he grows up. The moment I saw him, I was like, I have known Metoto for just a few seconds, but if anything happens to him, I'll kill everyone here and then myself. I would love to see him as the strongest member of the next generation of the Lion Guard. Episode 4, Can't Wait to Be Queen. Okay, remember when I said in the previous video that I disagree with the people that say Simba is a jerk in this show? And then I said that there was only one exception in which Simba was in fact a jerk? Well, here is that exception.
No way! You can't tell me what to do!
Actually, she can.
Dude just created a new score at this moment. Simba and Nala and Zazu should attend a funeral, which means Kiara will be the queen for a while.
I have faith in you. And the Lion Guard.
Simba, you know your son needs attention as well, right? Then again, there are two sides to the story. The Simba side in which he's trying to learn the elephant language for the funeral. He can't learn another language, so that will be a problem, but Simba avoids the problem by total luck. Then the Kiara side. I guess this part could be used for some people to prove Kiara's bad personality, but again I disagree. Actually both Kiara and Kayan acted childish in this episode. But here's the thing, they are children, and it led to a bonding moment for both of them. So it's justified in my eyes. First we see Kiara has taken Ono as her major domo, which is a great choice, and has taken Tifu and Zuri as her advisors, which is not a great choice. I agree that it was mean that Kiara didn't even tell Kayan that she has sent Ono on another mission. But whatever. Before season 3 was out, I had theorized that the Lion Guard would retire much sooner than they should, resulted by Kayan's death or something. And I thought if Ono wasn't part of a Lion Guard anymore, he would be the perfect major domo for Kiara. I mean, he can fly, he is fast enough, he can see really good, and he is smart. He could be the best major domo of Pride Lands history. And also I don't think that Rafiki, Zazu and Timon and Pumbaa will be alive by the time that Kiara becomes queen. So they would need replacements. And Ono is the perfect replacement for Zazu. By the way, Ono tells Kiara the morning report. So Kiara orders the Lion Guard to do something about a problem. Koyon is a little bit salty, so he tries to do things in his own way, which leads to disaster, but they manage to solve the problem eventually. Then Mazingo the vulture finds out that Kioro is queen, so he tells Janja about it to make a plan. Janja sends Mazingo to Kioro to offer a peace. Kioro agrees to go, but Koyon obviously doesn't like that. He warns her, but Kioro doesn't listen, so Koyon leaves. Then Koyon talks to Mufasa. This time I am actually fine with it because it's an important call. Mufasa tells Koyon that Kioro, both as a queen and as his sister, needs his support, especially when she is wrong. I think it would be cooler if we saw a flashback about Mufasa and Scar's childhood in here, Mufasa could tell a story about their childhood so that Koyon would learn the lesson from it, but whatever, it's good enough. So Koyon goes back to Pride Rock and realizes that Kioro has already left. It was all a trap, but thanks to the Lion Guard she is saved. Episode 5, Eye of the Beholder. Ono loses most of his eyesight for a short while, so the rest tell him to rest while they do the Lion Guard things without him. Janja finds it out and tries to take advantage of it. Without an eye in the sky to ruin his plans, Janja manages to trap the Lion Guard. But Ono comes back and again thanks to him, Janja's plan is ruined. Also here we see that the vultures live in a democracy-based society. The other side of the story is Rafiki trying to paint the new Lion Guard. All the Lion Guards of the Pride Lands history are painted on the walls of the cave for historical reasons. But Rafiki is not satisfied with his paintings because it doesn't stand out. Then he realizes that the difference between this Lion Guard and the previous guards is that this time the guard members are friends as well, and they consider each other equals. In the previous paintings, the leader is always on top because it was more like a job and the leader was considered the boss. The members were not friends. So this time Rafiki paints the Lion Guard, but this time Koyon is not on top. This time in the painting, the members are equal and they are much closer to each other. Episode 6, The Kupatana Celebration. It's Kupatana Day, which is a day in the Pride Lands in which they celebrate the circle of life. This episode begins with a good music that gives me the vibes of the stage musical. Then in the Outlands, Janja's gang are chasing a baby jackal named Dogu. Koyon is sad that he can't do a thing about it because it's outside of Pride Lands. Simba says they can make an exception for Kupatana Day. So the Lion Guard go to the Outlands to stop the hyenas. And again it's a mean move. I have already said that the hyenas need to eat as well, but this time it's extra mean. Because it's in the Outlands, aren't they allowed to eat even in their own home? The Lion Guard invite Dogo to the Pride Lands. But they didn't know that Dogo actually has parents and a dozen of siblings, I think. The mother is named Ray Ray and the father is named Goi Goi. Ray Ray is evil and Goi Goi is dumb. And Ray Ray loves him despite how annoying he is, I think. I know evil wife and stupid husband is kinda a cliche dynamic, but it's a very entertaining dynamic, so I like it actually. The Jackal family make problems before and during the celebration, so the Lion Guard and the other animals stop them. But Simba is the one that does the final move and kicks out the Jackals. Simba is the king and he doesn't need to rely on his super soldier son to do everything. Also, it's good to see Simba as a good father. Episode 7, Fuli's New Family. Bunga annoys Ushari, so Ushari bites Bunga, so Bunga's friends need to take him to Rafiki. Rafiki says that honey badgers are immune to snake poison, so he is fine. Then Timon and Pumbaa invite everyone to join them and Bunga in a party as a celebration. But the rest say they need to join their families for lunch, except for Fuli, who lives alone. So Timon insists that Fuli should join them. She does, but she obviously doesn't eat bugs, so she leaves. Also, Bunga thinks he is immune to everything, so he starts doing dangerous stuff. Then each time, Fuli's hunt gets interrupted by the other members of the guard. They think Fuli's life is sad because she is alone, so they want to spend more time with her, not knowing that Fuli likes to be alone. She gets annoyed by them, so she tells them to leave her alone, and then she leaves. But later she realizes that Bunga is in danger, so she goes to help him. But they both get trapped in lava, so the rest of the guard come to rescue them. At the end, the rest of the guard tell her that they are sorry and it's okay if she doesn't want to hang out with them. Fuli tells them that she wants to be alone sometimes, but that doesn't mean she doesn't want to have friends. Then she tells them that they are like a family to her. Then they finish the episode with a hug, which is kinda the end of a mini arc for Fuli, because during the episode she shows multiple times that she doesn't like to be touched, so she kinda becomes friendlier at the end. I think this episode is a story about the introvert and how they and the extroverts around them should act. An introvert should learn to socialize more, and an extrovert should learn to leave an introvert alone sometimes, which is a lesson that more people should learn. People don't understand introverts sometimes. I myself am an introvert, and I agree that sometimes I should go out and touch some grass, but sometimes people around me are annoying. I think some of my family members and friends think I am depressed or something because I'm in my room most of times and don't go outside of the house a lot, but they don't understand that I'm happier that way. If I don't hang out with others a lot, that does not mean that I don't like them. Also, I say it's a good choice that in the Lion Guard we don't see the predators hunt and we are just told that they hunt. I know usually show don't tell is a much better way of storytelling, but this is an exception. I know it's the circle of life, and I would be fine with seeing the process of hunting in this franchise, but I know some people won't be fine with it, because the animals of the Lion King world are sentient, and I know for some people, even though it is the circle of life, it would still be hard for them to see a sentient being killed. So I say this franchise should be in a way that people could ignore them. So it will be easier for them if they just don't see the process. If they are just told that the predators hunt the prey, it's much easier for them to ignore it. But the moment in the franchise we see that a predator kills a prey, then the world building of it would be destroyed for some people. Again, I say it is not an objective problem. If you ask me, I say they should actually show the process of hunting. But I know some people would have a subjective problem with it. Yeah, if you see that the Lion King franchise, especially the Lion Guard show, does not show the process of hunting, that would be the reason. Episode 8, The Search for Utamu. This episode is about Bunga and Fuli mostly. We see that Fuli is so fast that she did 3 missions back to back all by herself. Kayan is thankful for how useful Fuli is, but he tells her to rest and next time slow down and do teamwork instead, so that she would have enough energy for the next mission. So Fuli lays down while the rest go. Bunga is searching for some bugs named Utamu, which are rare but very delicious bugs that only show up at this time of the year. The rest ask him why he cares so much about these bugs, and Bunga says that they are the reason that Bunga met Timon and Pumbaa. Bunga says he doesn't remember his parents, but he could take care of himself. But one day he meets Timon and Pumbaa, and they are so friendly that he wants to be with them. Timon isn't ready for raising another kid, but when Bunga gets them the Utamus, Timon agrees to raise him. Also, apparently Pumbaa is the one that has named him Bunga. The lion god reached the tree that contains the Utamu. Bunga tries to get the Utamu, but the tree breaks and falls down. Then we see that Fuli didn't listen to Kayan and she continued working. So she has no energy left. The vultures realize Fuli can't defend herself at the moment, so they attack her, but the rest of the guards show up and save her. So Fuli learns the lesson that it's okay to ask for help and how important it is to be a team player. Then they go to Timon and Pumbaa and they tell Bunga that this day is not special because of the Utamu. It's special because it was the day that they adopted Bunga. So Bunga learns that celebration should be an excuse for togetherness. And also that tree fell down next to Timon and Pumbaa, so they did get the Utamu. Episode 9. Follow That Hippo. Oh look, the little guy is back. In this episode, some very young kids are pretending to be the lion guard, which is cute. Why don't we see kids pretending to be the Avengers in the MCU? This leads to a misunderstanding and some animals think real hyenas are attacking, so they panic and run. The lion guards find it out and tell the kids to scale down their game to prevent more misunderstandings. Matoto wants to hang out more, so Beshte invites him to their training. He makes some problems, so Beshte brings him back, but on the way, he tells Matoto to believe in himself. Maybe one day Matoto will become a member of the Lion Guard as well. I hope so. Later, the hyenas chase Matoto, so Beshte goes to save him, but crocodiles also try to attack them. So Matoto uses a move he learns during the training to help him. Episode 10. The Call of the Drongo. A drongo shows up, which is apparently a bird that can intimidate others. Using that talent, he pretends to be Janja, Goigoi, and Makuu to scare off some animals and steal their food. The lion guard find it out and tell him to stop him. Later, Janja finds it out as well and captures him and forces him to help them hunt some animals. But he escapes, and with his talents, he distracts the hyenas while the lion guard come to save those animals. I think it would be better if at the end we saw that Drongo has started a show or a stage play or something, so that he could get food from the animals willingly. In that way he could have a job instead of stealing. Also, I like how relatively smart Kayan is. In most kid shows, these problems wouldn't be solved this easily. There could be much more unnecessary misunderstandings. Episode 11. Paintings and Predictions. Because of a coincidence, Bunga thinks Rafiki's paintings predict the future. He sees a painting in which seemingly Kayan is falling down a tree. So one by one he tells the other members of the guard. So all four of them try to prevent Kayan from climbing any tree. That leads to some shenanigans. At the end, Rafiki tells them that these paintings actually tell the past, not the future. And that cub that looked like Kayan was actually Nala's father. I guess my only problem with this episode is that Fuli and Ono were kinda stupid. Also, they never said the name of Nala's father. Wait, the cub looks like a young Mufasa.
You know, you're starting to sound like my father.
Good. At least one of us does.
No. Episode 12. Mbali Fields Migration. Zebras and gazelles are fighting because there isn't enough grass for all. Simba tells the lion guard to take them to a place with enough grasses, but it won't be a short journey. Remember in my Lion King games video that I said this zebra is almost the worst Lion King character? Well, I should eat my words again. I think I was too harsh on this show as a teenager. This zebra was a hypocrite and quite the troublemaker. But at the end she did apologize. Also, there was this part
I am swimming for two!
that made me really dislike her. But turns out I was dumb like Bunga. We thought she meant Bunga, but she was actually referring to the baby in her belly. But here is the funny thing. When Bunga said,
I'm the one swimming for two!
her reaction shows she didn't get him either. In her mind she was like, wait, you too? But you are a guy, right? What guys don't? What did you mean by that? It's so weird. This show is funny when it tries. Episode 13. Bunga and the King. The royal family are attending an elephant concert, but something happens that Kion has to leave and help the lion guard. From Simba and Nala's facial expressions, I can tell that they are still not sure about giving this much responsibility to a cop. While the lion guard are busy, a small earthquake happens, and Simba falls into a big hole while rescuing Kiara. And the show is still obsessed with the references. Simba is fine, but he can't get out of the hole. The lion guard find it out and approach Kion's family. Bunga acts before he thinks and jumps into the hole and falls on Simba's head. And now they are both trapped. Simba tells Nala and Kiara to go without them because it is an important tradition for the elephants, and at least some part of the royal family have to be there. So they go while Kion and the guard try to save Simba and Bunga. They fail, so Simba and Bunga enter a cave in the hole to find their way out. It is a maze actually, and Bunga is really annoying Simba. Some people use this episode to prove how bad Simba's characterization is in this show, but I totally disagree. Bunga is a very annoying person. I say actually Simba is very patient. I would have lashed out much sooner than he did. They can't agree about anything, so each take their own path. And again, I really like Simba here. The moment he finds the way, he goes back to Bunga so that he could go out as well. But how do they find each other in a maze? Well, the answer is what it makes me love this episode so much. They were both raised by Timon and Pumbaa, so they both know Hakuna Matata. They both sing this song and find each other by following each other's voice. Through this song, they bond. And here is where they agree that they are kind of brothers. On the other side, the rest of the guard try to get help from Timon and Pumbaa, but they don't take the fact that both of their sons are lost very well, which also leads to funny moments.
Coming for you! Dead end! We're still coming for you!
Then Simba and Bunga have to make a big jump to get out of the maze. Simba wouldn't do it at the beginning of the episode, but now he tells Bunga to climb on him so that he will jump and take both of them to safety. He even says Zuka Zama with Bunga when he jumps, which is Bunga's motto. Simba and Bunga getting along well is something that others won't forget. Timon and Pumbaa give Simba and Bunga a hug and kisses. They are really happy that they did not lose both of their sons the same day. Then Simba, Timon and Pumbaa and the lion guard join the concert. Simba apologizes for being late, and at the end they all sing Hakuna Matata. This episode is the perfect merger of the Lion King, Timon and Pumbaa and the lion guard. Episode 14. The Imaginary Okapi. Beshte befriends an Okapi, which is a half giraffe, half zebra thing that is apparently an actual thing. He came here from a place far, far away because a leopard chased him. He is a coward, so he is hiding all the time. And because of that, only Beshte has met him. And others think this Okapi thing is Beshti's imaginary friend. Kion believes it though, because a leopard named Makucho has shown up. And if he has chased the Okapi, then it all makes sense. The lion guard chased the leopard away, and Simba and Nala allow the Okapi to live in the Pride Lands. In The Lion King 2, we see that more Okapis live in Pride Lands, which means the rest of the Okapis followed this one after a while. Episode 15. Too Many Termites. There are these animals called earth wolves who eat termites. At night, the lion guard mistakes them for hyenas and Kion chases them away with his rope. The Pride Lands become full of termites and the lion guard realize the mistake they made. So they go to the Outlands and bring them back, but they will fight Ray Ray and Goi Goi in order to do that. I like that Kion makes mistakes and learns from them, and I also love how much of a good father Simba is. Episode 16, The Trouble with the Galagos. There is this coward leopard named Billy who is sleeping in a tree that belongs to the Galagos because another leopard has chased him out of his own home. The lion guard teach him how to stand up for himself. It's a childish episode, but it's a good thing to teach to kids. Episode 17, Janja's new crew. Janja is done with Cheesy and Chongo, so he fires them. Cheesy and Chongo go to Pride Lands and start eating leftovers. The lion guard tell them that as long as they don't make trouble, they can stay. Two other hyenas become Janja's second in command, and they are actually pretty smart. So they ditch Janja and do their own thing. The lion guard defeat the new hyenas and Janja welcomes Cheesy and Chongo back to his crew. The lion guard is far from the first show to do an episode like this, but they are cute episodes, so I am fine with it. What I don't understand is why the other hyenas are still with Janja. They are much better without him. Episode 18, Baboons. This episode also has two sides. On one side, Fuli needs to take a baby baboon to his home, but trouble awaits. On the way, Fuli saves the baboon from the vultures, and when they reach the baboon's home, the vultures attack Fuli, and the baboons help Fuli. On the other side, Kiara needs to meet the buffaloes for a special tradition, but Tifu and Zuri take her to some place to look better first. But because of a flood, that place turns into a small island, and now the rest of the lion guard should save them. Both Kiara and Kion have plans, but they don't work, so they combine their plans and the girls are saved. But as a result, Kiara approaches the buffalo when she is dirty, but that actually is a good thing because in this tradition the buffaloes will roll in mud, so they actually really appreciate that Kiara is dirty. Episode 19, Beware the Zimwi. Every kid show has a spooky episode, so here it is. You know how it works. Someone tells a scary story to kids, then slowly everyone thinks it is real, then it really looks it is real, then it turns out that it was not real at all. Episode 20, Lions of the Outlands. Jessiri shows up and tells Kion that some lions have taken their water hole. Kion goes to help her, but tells Bunga that there is no need for the rest of the guard to come with him, not knowing that those lions are the Outlanders, Zero and her followers. But before that, we see that Jessiri has a sister named Madonna. Then when Kion and Jessiri are approaching the waterhole, Nuka pounces on Kion, but you guys know Nuka. He tries his best, but that is far from enough. So Kion deals with him easily. Also, I don't know if I said it before or not, but for the characters of Lion King 1, only Pumbaa is voiced by the original voice actor in this show. Yes, in Return of the Road, James Earl Jones did reprise his role as Mufasa, but that was only in the movie. In the series, it's another person. But for Lion King 2, they brought back as many people as they could. Nuka is voiced by Andy Dick, who did voice Nuka in Lion King 2. Then Kovu shows up, and he is voiced by Jason Marsden, who voiced adult Kovu in the Lion King 2. But here he will voice the young version as well. When Kion says he is son of Simba, Kovu says,
I could see Kiara again.
You know Kiara?
and that's all they will say about it. Kion will never get curious to ask Kiara about Kovu. Then they bring them to Zero and Vitani. Vitani is voiced by Lacey Chabert, who voiced young Vitani in Lion King 2, but here she will voice the adult version as well. So yeah, all three children of Scar and Zero are voiced by the original voice actors. Not Zero herself though. Her original voice actress, Susan Pleshed, sadly passed away years before this show, and this one is a big loss. We all say how great James Earl Jones as Mufasa and Jeremy Irons as Scar is, but the original voice of Zero shouldn't be forgotten either, because it is a top tier voice acting if you ask me. Zero sounded so menacing in Lion King 2. And also sorry if I pronounced any names wrong. I tend to get names wrong a lot, and that's why I usually don't mention the people behind the media I talk about. Zero's voice isn't very menacing here, but I actually like her singing voice. It is no My Lullaby, but one of the best Lion Guard songs if you ask me. And also again, sorry if I have disrespected the voice actors of this show. They are also talented people and they do a good job, and their voice actually grew on me. I just subjectively, in a personal opinion, think that they are not as good as the originals. Zero and her children are weirded out by the fact that Kayon is friends with the Hyena. If Rafiki didn't show the painting of Scar and Zero being next to each other, here I would have believed that Zero actually wasn't close to Scar at all. Wasn't Scar friends with the Hyenas at some point? Or I guess he really did consider them just tools, and he probably told his family that the Hyenas are nothing but pawns that Scar was playing with them. So yeah, there's that. Also, the show expanded upon Zero's personality. What did they add to her? She's racist now. No care for the circle of life, just lions overall. Zero wants to manipulate, so she tries to look nice to Kayon, even though she was racist to his friend. Zero tells Kayon to roar at a cloud. Kayon does it, and by doing that, the cloud starts raining. Zero tells Kayon that she was very close to Scar, and it was during the time that Scar was leading his own guard, and he told her all about the secrets of the road. So Zero tells Kayon to follow her so that she would show more secrets about the road to him, and she would also talk about the waterhole situation. Zero tries to take Kayon to her side, but Kayon does not agree with Zero's racist ideology. He tells her that he is on the side of the circle of life, which means sometimes he will be against hyenas and sometimes he will be against other lions. Zero is disappointed by Kayon, so she tells the other lionesses to attack him. But Jessiri and the rest of the Lion Guard, who heard from Rafiki about the Outlanders, come to help him. Zero tells Kayon that Scar lost his roar because he roared at lions. So if Kayon roars at the Outlanders, he would lose the power as well. Kayon has some doubts, but Bunga tells Kayon that Scar lost the roar because he used it for evil, not for roaring at lions. So Kayon roars at the Outlanders and he still has the roar. Kovu, who didn't fight anyone, goes away the last minute and avoids the roar, but he goes willingly after that, unlike his siblings. Vitani was willing to fight, but Fuli easily stopped her, and Nukama boy, he is always the first to attack, and is always the first to be defeated. Poor guy does everything he can, but he is just too weak. Kayon's roar sent the Outlanders to the place that they were living in Lion King 2, and this is another proof for me for considering this show non-canon. This show happens after Kiara and Kobu's first meeting, and that time they were already living in the Termite Hill, but here they were living in a different place before. So yeah, that's it. As a big fan of Lion King 2, this episode feels the most nostalgic. I know it's not much, but I appreciate every single acknowledgement, no matter how small it is. Just that one single cave painting pulls a smile on my face. The entire episode is a bittersweet experience for me. Would it be cool if Zero and the Outlanders were a bigger threat? Yes. Would I rather have more episodes about the Outlanders? Yes. Would I want more than just a few cave paintings? Of course, yes. This show was the perfect place for more content related to Lion King 2. And we just got 2 episodes. We could have more episodes to connect Lion King 1 and 2 to each other. We could have finally seen a flashback about Scar and Zero being together. In season 2, Scar had to recruit Zero and the Outlanders. Sometimes it makes me angry about all these wasted potentials. We could have perfection, but we got just good enough. And sometimes that is not enough. But at the end of the day, I am happy that at least I got 2 episodes. A little bit acknowledgement is better than lack of acknowledgement. Episode 21, Never Roar Again. This episode also has 2 sides. In the unimportant side, Ono has lost the colored feathers on his head, so he needs to regain confidence. But the important side is what makes this episode special. The hyenas attack Nala. When Kayon sees it, he gets very angry and roars. But this time it is different. His roar is very powerful this time. The hyenas are sent all the way back to the Outlands. Kayon and Nala hug each other, but then Kayon's powerful roar comes back at them, and it leads to an earthquake. The earth shakes and tears apart. Nala almost fell to her death, but Kayon saved her. They hug again, but then Kayon looks at the chaos he brought. The trees that were sent flying to the sky, and the floor that is destroyed. Kayon is horrified. Later he is looking at the cave paintings, thinking that he may become just like Scar. Later, Kayon tells Bunga that he will never use the roar of the elders again. Makuu overhears it and tries to take advantage of it. He takes a giant water hole just for the crocodiles. Then Kayon talks to Mufasa about it, and again this is important, so I am okay with it. Mufasa tells him that Scar was selfish and cared about nobody but himself. The exact opposite of Kayon. And seriously, was Scar just born evil? You mean he didn't care about his family even as a cub? Never mind. Mufasa tells him that he was very angry because he cared about someone, and it's better if he talked to that someone. So Kayon talks to Nala. He says,
Can you ever forgive me?
And Nala says,
Forgive you? There's nothing to forgive. You were saving my life.
we saw Simba as a great father, and now we see Nala as a great mother, and we see what a great son Kayon is. But we never got an episode to see Kiara as a great sister, did we? By the way, the rest of the guard are trying to fight Makuu and the crocodiles, but it's no use without the roar. Kayon and Nala join the party. Nala is in danger again, but Kayon controls his anger this time and finds a new use for his roar. He can make waves, and unlike his normal roar, this one can be used for attacking one target at a time. So he can use the roar without putting Nala in danger. So yeah, another great episode. I could complain about the fact that Nala was a damsel in distress in this episode, but that's just cruel. This episode does lots of good things. Why should I ignore them because of one single flaw? Yeah, I believe Nala could defeat Janja's entire gang all by herself, and if I did it, I would first establish Nala as a great warrior and show her do a great fight, and she would only need help because the bad guys cheat instead of being captured by the crocodiles by the first move. But so what? I already know that Nala can fight and she can defend herself. I don't need this show for me to prove that. I saw Nala as a kind and supportive mother, and Kayon as a protective and caring son, and that's enough for me here. Episode 22, The Lost Gorillas. The episode starts with fart jokes. Great start. There are two prince gorillas that have a message from their father to Simba. A long time ago, Simba made a peace with the Gorilla King, and each year the Gorilla King sends a message to make peace again. This time his sons came instead, but they have forgotten the message. So the Lion Guard have to go with the gorillas to get the message. The gorillas are annoying, so most of the journey is hell. they reach the snowy parts of the mountain, which is an alien concept to Pridelanders. This is the redeeming part of the episode. It's cute to see characters have fun in snow, especially when they have discovered it for the first time. At the end, Kion is falling to his death, but the gorillas save him. So when they reach the Gorilla King, he is proud of them. The Gorilla King tells the Lion Guard that he wants to continue the peace. So the Lion Guard gives Simba the message, but in the Gorilla King way. Episode 23, The Trail to Udugu. Simba and Nala tell Kiara and Kion that they are old enough to find Udugu. It is a tradition that royal siblings should do. Simba never did it because he didn't have any siblings. So Nala takes Kiara and Kion to the path to Udugu, and today Simba will be the leader of the Lion Guard. We see how competitive Kiara and Kion are. After a while, Nala disappears. At first, Kiara and Kion aren't that good at teamwork, but eventually they learn to work together and they will find Nala. She tells them that Udugu was a concept and not a place. When Kiara and Kion learned to work as a team, that was the moment they found Udugu. And also she was hiding on purpose for this reason. On the other side, we see that Simba isn't a team player either. He expects the rest of the guard to do things in his way, but after a while, he realizes that it is not how it works. So he lets the rest of the guard do things in their own way and work as a team. At the end, Kiara and Kion told Simba their adventure, and Simba tells them that today he found Udugu as well. I know some people would want a show about Simba and the characters from Lion King 1 and 2, but I say less is more. These few episodes that focus on Kion's family are usually the best, and I think I wouldn't think like this if they were in every single episode. You can see that Kiara and Kion has a cute rivalry, but this could become toxic when they grow up. So doing something like this was totally necessary. I mean, Mufasa and Scar's rivalry was also just cute and innocent at one point as well, right? Episode 24, Ono's Idol. This one is a false hero type of a stories. There is this eagle who is apparently a legendary hero, and Ono idolizes the guy. Even Simba and Nala show up. There is this mod place in which the legendary heroes of history will put their paw print on it so that they will be written on history. But at the end, he admits that he is nothing but a liar. So instead, Ono, who have been doing all the heroic works in this episode, will put his paw print in the mud and he will be remembered as a hero. Episode 25, Beshte and the Hippo Lane. Beshte and his dad are making way through the grass so that the animals can pass. But Beshte's dad hurt his leg, so Beshte has to do it alone. But he gets distracted by helping people, so instead of a straight line, he makes a maze. But thanks to his dad, he can fix the problem. On the other side of the story, the rest of the guard are taking a bunch of ignorant animals to a safer place through the line that Beshte and his dad made. Also, Makuu and the crocodiles make some trouble, but they are dealt with. Also, can we appreciate what a great support character Beshte's dad is? Episode 26, Ono The Tickbird. A rhino and a tickbird that were friends split apart. So the rhino makes problems because rhinos can't see very well and they need a tickbird for guidance. So after lots of shenanigans, they make them friends again. Okay, those were the episodes. Let's rank them. Number 26, Bunga The Wise. This episode doesn't have any redeeming quality about it. Bunga is very annoying in it. Number 25, The Imaginary Okapi. Fuli, Ono and Bunga were mean to Beshte. Number 24, Beware the Zimwi. This one is a generic episode. There are similar episodes to this one in a lot of kid cartoons, and this one does not stand out. Number 23, The Lost Relost. There were lots of fart jokes in this one, and and also the gorillas were really annoying. Number 22, paintings and predictions. In these episodes, the characters were dumb. Number 21, the Call of the Drongo is kind of a generic episode. Number 20, Janja's new crew is also generic. Number 19, Mbali Field's migration. The main characters were fine, but the rest of the characters were annoying. Number 18, the trouble with the Galagos. Standing up for yourself is an important lesson that we should teach kids about. Number 17, Rise of Makuu. We have reached the good episode. This one is an interesting episode. We see more of the lore of the Lion King universe. It's good to see that Kion tries not to solve problems with violence, but it's the worst of the best episodes. The characters were kind of dumb in this one. Number 16, Eye of the Beholder. It's good to see what makes this Lion Guard special. Also, this was mostly about Ono, and yeah, Ono was a great character in this episode. Number 15, Follow That Hippo. Metoto is a cute character, and yeah, he is very likable. He's this cute kid that is really brave, and yeah, it was good to see that he had a major enough role in this episode. Also, it's good to see what a kind person Beshte is. Number 14, Too Many Termites. It's good to see that the Lion Guard make mistakes, but they learn from their mistakes. And yeah, not judging a book by its cover is also an important thing that a lots of films and cartoons were trying to teach kids and adults, but people just refuse to learn this lesson. Number 13, Baboons. It's good to see that Fuli, deep down in her heart, is actually a caring person. Number 12, Ono's Idol. This one can also be considered generic. I mean, a false hero or a lawyer reveal trope or cliche, but again, this one is about Ono, and Ono was a great character in this one. Number 11, Ono The Tickbird. Again, another episode that shows what a great guy Ono is, and yeah, it didn't have any annoying parts, so here it is. Number 10, Beshte and the Hippo lane. Again, it's good to see what a great guy Beshte is. Also, his dad is a great character. Also, seeing Bunga referring to Beshti's dad as Bigger B is also funny. Number 9, Can't Wait to Be Queen. Now I say we have reached the really good episodes. I think these 9 episodes should be watched by everyone. I mean, every Lion King fan, There are Lion King fans that like the Lion Guard, and there are Lion King fans that don't like Lion Guard. But I think even the ones that don't like the Lion Guard will still find something to appreciate in each of them. But this episode is lower than the ones above it, because at the first part of it, Simba was a jerk to Kion, but that's like the exception of it. The rest of the series, Simba is actually very good to Kion. It's good to see what a great brother Kion is. Number 8, the Kupatana Celebration. It had that one part that the Lion Guard just went to the Outlands to annoy the hyenas. That was bad, but with the exception of that, it's a really good episode. Ray is a good villain for this show, and I like her dynamic with Goi. It's funny. I also like that at the end, actually Simba was the one to kick out the jackals. Number 7, Fuli's new family. This one is obviously a Fuli episode, and I love that Fuli is a great friend. Number 6, the Search For Utamu. This one is a Bunga episode, and it shows how he got adopted by Timon and Pumbaa. I like Timon and Pumbaa, when they are not annoying, they are really great characters. And yeah, it's also a Fuli episode as well, and it was cool to see how OP Fuli can be. It's good to tell kids that, sometimes it's okay to ask for help. Number 5, never judge a hyena by its spots. Another great episode, and I said, some people didn't really like that. The hyenas were just these dumb, evil things, but the Lion Guard showed us that there are good hyenas in this universe, and yeah, I can't find anything wrong with it. Number 4, never roar again. Nala was in this episode. I saw her as a great mother, and I love how Kion cares about his family. Number 3, The Trail to Udugu. Again, another episode that I can't find anything wrong with it. Learning how to get along with each other, how to work as a team. Also seeing that Simba had to learn that lesson. That was also a great thing. Number 2, Bunga and the King. At the end, we saw Simba and his family, and that is not just Simba, Nala, Kiara, and Kayan. His family also includes Timon and Pumbaa. This family also includes the rest of the Lion Guard. Seeing all of them sing Hakuna Matata at the end of it, I really can't find anything wrong about this episode. And number 1, Lions of the Outlands. Is this because of bias? It probably is. I really love Lion King too, and first time watching this episode, I had like the most nostalgic feeling ever. And yeah, that very good feeling is what makes me put this episode at number 1. But even if it was not the nostalgia, it would still be in the top 10.